So today is the 3rd of July, and 3rd of the July we still have the odd Satsuki azaleas still in flower. Look at this. This one is called Suisen, which is the red and white one. You can see some red flowers and some white flowers. Suisen is a very popular red and white azalea, Satsuki azalea. And this one has still got flowers, but most of the others, the flowers have almost all faded and gone. So literally within a week they all turn limp like this. And of course in Japan, I remember when they are in bloom, they keep them under shelter so they don't get splattered by the rain. So, but then all flowers don't last forever, and that's why the Japanese love flowers. You know, it shows the what you call it, fragility of life. Here today and gone tomorrow. So, but what happens when the flowers finish? You just got to deadhead it like what I'm doing here. Just pluck the dead flowers off, and you also got to remove the seed heads. So just go around like what you call a chicken plucker treatment. Pluck all the dead flowers off, and when you've done that, I will show you on this tree. So when you pluck it off, you still see the seed head like that. If you leave that to grow, they set seed, you can sow the seeds if you're clever enough, but you should take the seeds off and cut it back there, and then you can trim and shape the tree accordingly. I will show you on another tree where we've done more deadheading. And if you want to take cuttings, the semi-hardwood like this one, this would be an ideal cutting. See, the wood has just hardened. This is this current year's growth, so that's a heel cutting. And if you stick that in any sort of soil or compost, it will root. It'll root virtually in 3 or 4 weeks, and you got another plant. So this is how they're propagated. But in the temperate zone, like in Europe and UK, we can never get these to grow as fast as they can do in Japan. And if I can just remind you that when I used to go to Japan, I used to go in the first couple of weeks in June. That's when the Satsuki growers used to repot all their trees. But I'm always reminding you that in the West, you should not do it after flowering. It's a very dangerous thing to do because we don't have the rainy season that you get in Japan. And if you try and repot in the middle of summer, you will have an accident. So we prefer to repot our Satsukis in early February before they come into flower, and then that is probably the best time to do the repotting for Satsukis in the Western Hemisphere. Now let me walk to another area where we have got some other big Satsukis that, let me show you this one. Now this is a massive Satsuki, look at it. Look at the trunk on that one. So this is called the son of Korin, you know. It's got pink and white flowers, but you can see millions of flowers. We've got to deadhead every single flower from that tree, so it takes time. And let's walk in there, and we are in the middle of doing one tree. This tree, unfortunately, the pot broke. It's not from the frost, it's just that it was dropped and broken. So once you deadhead the flowers, you see this side we've deadheaded it. This side I haven't deadheaded. So some people look at each flower and remove each flower slowly. If you just go around and do what we call the chicken plucker treatment, remove all the dead flowers, it won't take you even a minute to go around doing all this. It is so fast. I can't understand why people take so long to do certain tasks. It shouldn't take that long. Just removing all the dead flowers, and it will look good again. So what would happen if you didn't remove the flowers? The flowers would eventually drop, but the seeds will set. And of course, once you let the seeds set, it doesn't promote new growth. So let's look at this branch here. I've now removed virtually all the flowers, and you can see the potential seeds that are forming here. So all these are seeds which will form. So you got to cut these off, cut all of them off like this, And by cutting it off, you're saving the plant from putting all the energies in producing seed, and it will produce more leaf. You can also prune the tree to shape. If you prune in a particular place, you'll get more growth coming from further back. And prune all the dead little twigs out, because you do get dead twigs during the year. So this is the treatment you do after flowering. I know this is for people who've not had Satsukis before, so don't be put off, it's quite simple. Deadheading is a standard procedure, but you don't do the deadheading with fruiting trees like the crabapple or the Chinese quince unless you don't want the fruit. But the fruit on crabapples are a feature, so you keep the flowers, you don't deadhead those. So you can see what we've done here. This has been removed, the dead flowers are removed, so all we have to do now is just go around and remove the seed heads. And you can shape the tree as you wish. And this is the time you can feed it heavily, and it will get a lot of new growth. But I'm not going to repot the tree. I know that this pot is broken, but I'll just find a similar pot and pot it up with that. And by feeding, you're going to encourage lots of new growth to come. So that's just a very short little video about how to deal with Satsukis after they flower. Again, very simple, not rocket science, but it's a chore that you need to do. Otherwise, you will not get nice, healthy new shoots growing. There you go.